So in this video, I wanted to talk on the topic of trashy. And this is a bit of a more different topic because I'm someone that has used titles like peak trash before. Very self-aware of it. I'm not scared to sit there and say, hey, I've used those titles before for a variety of different reasons. But I wanted to talk about it in general because it's something that I've been thinking about more and more and more as the weeks go on, as I've seen other content creators use the words like peak trash or trashy, garbage, those kinds of words. And I do feel like the word is used in some cases in a more logical sense, and while some cases it feels very illogical and it almost just feels like it's just someone else's way of saying, yeah, it's bad but I kind of like it so it's okay. And it's like, yeah, but you're still saying it's bad though. And this kind of case has been used for series like Eminence in the Shadow, where words like trashy, peak trash and edgy has been used. And then you've got other series like 100 Girlfriends where that's also been used as peak trash and just trashy in general. And I've used the words before in titles, and a lot of the reasons is because it's great titles, it's great thumbnails, it gets you clicks because a lot of people are emotionally like either triggered or intrigued about that title itself. They see it and they go, ooh, what's this about? This person's saying that it's peak trash or that it's trashy. And so they click on it and they wonder what that person's opinion is. But then a lot of the time some people will just see that and they'll just take that at face value and think that it's someone taking a jab at it. And then they'll get upset. And that's why context is highly important. But I do feel like the word trashy does get used kind of incorrectly. And again, this is just a personal opinion, and I'm still been thinking these thoughts through because I do feel like there are some ways to use it that I think make sense. Like, for example, I've used it as like, for Eminence in the Shadow, I refer to Eminence in the Shadow as like going to McDonald's. You know it's not good for you, but it's just so good, it's so delicious that you just can't help yourself, you just want to keep going. But that also being said, Eminence in the Shadow itself isn't bad. It's not like it is McDonald's in the sense like it's bad for you. It isn't. And that's one of the things that I've kind of been internally thinking about more and more and more is like, is it really fair to refer to Eminence in the Shadow as like peak trash or trashy or just edgy? Like, at the end of the day, what Eminence in the Shadow tries to do is it tries to take tropes from animes and it tries to expand on them, have fun with them, and be satirical in nature. And it's like comedy. Comedy is subjective. At the end of the day, some people are going to like those jokes and sometimes people are not going to like those jokes. And people try to push the line of comedy itself more and more and more. But this isn't like... This Eminence in the Shadow isn't trying to push the line in a sense of like trying to invoke a negative emotion, because some comedy can really try and push the line of different touchy topics. Well, Eminence isn't trying to do that. It's just trying to take a genre and a certain tropes that are used in especially isekais that are overdone and just have absolute blast with it. And so it then comes down to it's like, is that really trashy though? And at the start, when I first started watching this series, I kind of saw it as like that peak trashy kind of thing. But then the more I watch it and the more I see other people talk about the word trash, the more I actually kind of disagree with it. Because at the end of the day, it is no different really than any other anime. It's just trying to do something different. To me, when I think about it more and more and more, when you refer to the thing trashy, it makes it feel like it's doing something bad. Like what it's doing is taboo or naughty or anything. It's like... That's the thing. It's like fan service. Fan service, in some cases, people see as like pushing the line. Oh, that's a little bit too much. But it's like, to me, I'm just like, dude, it's just a bit of skin. Like, it's not going to hurt you. And it's like, it almost just feels like people are being overly zealous and like being like, oh, that's too much, showing a little bit too much skin. And it's like, okay, sure, they're showing some Mount Everest's, like in High School DxD. But it's like, is that really a bad thing in a show? It's like, no, it's just fun. It's not meant to be taken serious. And I think that's the thing that has kind of made me wonder more and more and more is that really a bad thing? Like, using the word trashy and all that, especially some content creators have used it and they've referred to it as like trashy in the sense of taste, fan service, provocativeness in the humor and all that. And I'm like, okay, so you're basically saying that the humor is pushing the line, which sure, it might be, but at the same time, that doesn't make it trashy. And then some people will say, oh, well, it's not garbage, it's just trashy. And it's like, they're kind of the same word. And I get people trying to create this line and they're trying to create new definitions of the word trashy and garbage when it comes to describing animes like this. And I think that's the thing that right now a lot of anitubers and parts of the anime community are trying to do, is they're trying to define this word of trashy, as in the sense of like a new type of series where it is pushing the line. It is trying to do things that are a little bit more not commonly known. Like, you look at things like Roselia Vampire. Those are some of the first harem not isekais. Actually, that technically is an isekai if you think about it. But it's the first like harem romance ecchi kind of stuff where it's got a lot of fan service. It throws a lot of that crazy stuff out there. But series nowadays are trying to push that line even more and more and more, which I think is fine. I think it's great, but I think it also has a tendency to kind of upset some people that aren't as into that, and so we have to refer to it as trashy so that those people know, oh, well, that's probably the thing I don't like because I'm too sensitive. It's like, okay, well, if you're that sensitive, that's fine. You don't have to watch it. But at the same time, it's like, I don't think we really need to refer to it as trashy because it is just ecchi fan service. It's just for a mature audience. So it's one of those that really aims towards those that are more comfortable looking at more heavy amount of skin, or looking at jokes that might be a little bit more crazier and a little bit, more fun, in my opinion. And that's the thing. It's like some people will say, well, that's not fun, that's just disgusting. It's like, well, that's how I see it. And it's the same with trashy. It's like some people see it in one way, some people see it in a negative way, which I can completely understand. If someone sees something like peak trash, I can understand why someone would take that in a negative view, and why some people will be more inclined to not watch a video and then be upset. But it's like, at the same time, you can't yell at a person if you're not going to watch the video and get the context. So it's just one of those where I'm like, with Eminence in the Shadow particularly, because it's one series that I just love watching weekly, and of course 100 Girlfriends, it's those that's where it's like, it pushes the line, but does it make it peak trash? Does it make it trashy? Does it make it edgy? A part of me is leaning towards no, but I can understand why it's seen in that way. And I think maybe we need a better word to describe these particular series, because I think using the word trashy implies that it's bad in nature, which it's not. It's just trying to have fun, which again is not going to appeal to everyone. It's like going into a horror game. Not everyone's going to like horror. That's fine. And that's why that word horror is there, because it is that. And I think you could say, well, using the word trash is fine, but it's like the problem is the word trash is generally used in a negative form, which is why I understand why some people have a bad reaction when they see their favorite series being referred to as trashy, peak trash, edgy, those kinds of words, because those words are generally used for different things. And I think some people are moving that definition around a bit to try and fit what they want to get across, but maybe we need to look at some better words that would fit that so people understand what these kind of series are trying to portray. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think of this topic? What words would you think would fit? Or do you think using the word peak trash and all that? Because a lot of people have fun using those words, because it does. It provokes an emotion, and sometimes provoking an emotion is absolute fun. As a content creator, I do it all the time. And I understand why people use those words, because it does. It's great for clicks. I've got to make money somehow. They've got to make money somehow. That's how the world works. And yeah, I may still use it in the future just to provoke some upset kids, but I do feel like one thing that I think I'll probably do is just not make excuses for it, because I do think that is one problem, is that we're trying to create excuses for why we're using that title. Just say it how it is. You just wanted to clickbait people. And there's nothing wrong with harmless clickbait as well. It's as if it's harmful clickbait. Let's say I made up something in the title and it's not even in the video, or I made up some announcement or something. That would be harmful clickbait to me. But a little bit of teasing and satire in a title, I don't think is anything negative whatsoever. So again, I'd love to ask the question off to you. What do you think of this topic? Any and all thoughts in the civil manner are definitely welcome. And of course, because of the fact that I'm always provoking people, if you do want to support me, consider the Patreon / private Discord access. Again, if you like this video, hit the like, subscribe, and see you beautiful nerds in the next video.